Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Building with Whip. Today is episode number 3 of our Magic Fantasy Wizard Castle build that we're working on. Over the last few episodes, we have laid out the general plans for what we want this guy to be looking like. We'll come on up here, up the steps to be laid in right through this awesome front gate, which we'll be working on today. But in the first episode, we came through here and talked about how to plan out a castle in general, how to make a castle look super freaking cool and add a lot of variety to it to make it just look a lot more realistic and a lot better than the typical square Minecraft castles that you typically see. Last episode though, we came in here and did a lot of great work of planning out the general wireframe of how this build is going to be looking. I'm super pumped by it. I'm super excited by all this stuff. I'm really excited to start building. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to be building up the gatehouse right in here. So I want to really be focusing on the front outside of our castle for now. We're going to really focus on this side of everything today. And if we have time, we'll work on the inside of it. But I want to go ahead and get our gatehouse done, as well as these little wall bits that'll be connecting up into the towers. So as you can see over here, we have a big old rectangular tower. Over here, we have a big old circular one. And it should be really cool to add a lot of variety to this guy. That being said, though, I got a question for you guys. When you guys think of wizards or you think of magic, what color in Minecraft comes to mind? I'm trying to figure out what I want to be using here for some roof colors. I think today we're going to check out using some light blue or maybe some cyan concrete or cyan terracotta or light blue concrete or something like that. I don't know. I really want to get some light colored roofing bit in here so we can get a lot of cool bits of detail, but I don't want to be too crazy. Also, for some reason, my brain is leaning towards gray. But I feel like with gray walls and gray everything up there, it would be a little weird. So I need your guys' help down in the comments below what we should be doing as far as picking out some colors for this build. So I'll tell you guys what, I'll go ahead and turn these shaders off because building with all these god rays going throughout here, it would be a little bit difficult. So let me go ahead and do that. We'll get everything in here ready to go and we can start building up the front of this guy because I got some cool plans in mind. You know, if it wasn't for this whole thing just being pure stone right now, this actually could look pretty freaking cool. I like the shape that we have going for it so far, so I went ahead and turned off shaders, obviously, and then I went ahead and filled in all of these bits here with 2 thick stone walls. Very important here, guys. 2 thick stone walls allows you to do a lot of extra detailing. We have so much more room to work with here, so we're going to go ahead and kind of use these guys as a general guide moving forward so we can have a little bit more room to work with. Now that we got all this stuff in here, we actually need to go ahead and grab just a dummy block that we can use to pillar up. Let's go ahead and just get some grass in here. So I want to go ahead and get up to probably right about where we have this point coming in. And I want to go ahead and right here, we're probably going to go ahead and have all this stuff for one come out. Can we not get that? Seriously? I was thinking we wanted to go ahead and have all this stuff come out and basically just do a little bit of a border going around here. So we kind of have that little bit of an inlaid part right there. So we can go ahead and fill this in here real fast. And this is actually going to help us a lot with picking out how we want to do the shape of these extra little tower bits I want to be including here. Let's go ahead and actually leave that guy up to right there. Because I wanted to go ahead and come along to these points right here. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably right here is actually totally okay with this. So we can do 1, 2 right there. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of buff these out, moving them out like this. And then that'll be fine right here. We want these to be pretty skinny. So we can maybe go ahead and right here, we want to have it in the end basically be a 3 wide or a 3x3 area right here. But that's a little too low because we still want to have a little bit of a gap to it. So maybe we go ahead and kind of bump it out right like that. And then up here, we go ahead and bring this out another block further. This is all just, we're just testing it right now. This isn't for sure going to stay in here because that would bring you back to there. Then that gives us our little bit of a platform circle right here. These guys obviously is going to go up like this. We'll have a window there. And then we can go ahead and do this again and do another window right here. And I'm thinking we want to go ahead and, that might actually be pretty perfect. If we do you right like this, and then like right along here, and then we're just sketching everything with stone today, guys. We're just going to do a lot of work here with stone. Then we'll come in at the end and detail it all out. But if we basically bring him up to this point, and then we go ahead and say, all right, so our overhang bit for the roof is going to come in there, and we count this up 2, 2, and then this will be the middle right here. We can count that to right there. That could actually be a good amount of height to it. I want this to almost stick up higher than those guys though. So maybe we actually go ahead and actually add another floor onto this. So we can just bring this up one more layer here. I think it'll give us a much better little bit of an idea of what everything's looking like. I think if we can get one more layer on here, I think it'd be a lot better in the long run as far as scale and shape and size of everything. Obviously, it's pretty easy to take the top off of a little bit of a tower and move it down a few blocks. Not that I want to be doing that, but we can do it if we really need to. So we can do that guy right there, and that'll bring it up a little bit higher. Maybe we actually go ahead and do a 2 and then a 3 and then a 3. That could actually be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump down here after we fill in this bit right here real fast. So 1, 2, and then we do 1, 2, and 3. So we can go ahead and take a look at this down from the angle. It'll be a little bit easier to see from over on this side, but I'm thinking, I actually like that. If we throw some like stairs in right there to kind of help smooth that out, get rid of that dirt pillar, that could actually be a good way of having this front face. I know this is all stone right now, so you guys can't see a whole lot of detail in there yourselves, but I think that'll actually be a pretty good base for what we want to be doing here. I'll tell you guys what, let me go ahead and get this copied over to the other side. Let me fill in a few things here with this and maybe get our first starting bits of detail bits onto here. I'll be back with you guys so we can take a look at this one and maybe move it another step further and making it actually look pretty nice here. So I'll be back soon. All right, everybody, welcome on back. So I got a few things here to show you. I was going to bring you guys back in and be like, hey, look, we filled out, or we made this awesome, cool thing. I came back here, hit record, and stared at it, and I was like, that looks awful. Speaking, of course, of this one. So I went ahead and did the whole texture variation on it that I want to do. I want to go with a whitewash castle, kind of like we did with the Castle Bleak Rock. I know that's really similar to that one, but I just love that look of it. I just feel like we really need to do that here to kind of make it stand out from the stone we're using in the town, making it kind of look like these stones are older because they're so whitewashed out. But we're going to use a lot of our smooth stone, the full brick that we have. Very excited for that. And also now that I'm looking at this 1.14, we almost should have just waited for that to be here before we started building up this thing. However, so when I first imagined this guy, I want to do 3 big windows here along the front center of that. And with it being right there, and that one would actually be coming in at that line as well. So you can see that we'd only get that one in the center. But I went ahead and moved this 2 blocks over to the side and back a block. So it actually comes in. Basically, we need to move this guy over 2 and back 1. And then they should line up pretty perfect. I need to go ahead and just break that down and move it over. But it's a huge pain. So I want to bring you guys in to show you guys the mistake first. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and do that now and move that guy back because I really like how this one looks here. I think it'll look better for the overall style and everything beyond that. I have come in here to start making this look a little bit more fortified as well. So right in here, we have these big, strong pillars. That's basically 2 polished andesite, then 2 high of stone brick, then polished andesite, stone brick, polished andesite, and so on, going all the way up until it hits kind of that point right there is what I was going at. I might bring that up another one, but we'll see for now. I'm debating on if I want to go ahead and bring it in to being this far. We do have that connected texture. Actually ran out of stone brick apparently. We do have this connected texture here available to us that I have going on that makes it look like the stone's kind of fortifying that, or the polish or the stone brick is fortifying over the stone, and I really like that look to it. I do want to come in here onto this guy up at the top. If we can grab some polished andesite, I'm going to go ahead and make some more while we're down here. And I know it's nighttime, so it might be a little dark for you guys, but I do want to come up through here and make this look just a little bit more interesting and break up these hard stone brick lines that we're seeing here, just because it's such a consistent color to it, or not a color, but like just such a consistent texture that it was looking really not so great in my opinion here. So we want to go ahead and do this like here. We don't have any slabs on us besides these stone slabs, so for now, we're just going to go ahead and do that guy up at the top. I think that'll be okay, but that's kind of what I want to do for now. I'm going to go ahead and move this tower over to the side, get a little bit more work done texturing them, and I might try and get a top on one of them. I'll probably play with a color for now just to see how it looks, and then we can decide on it later. But that's kind of the plan for now, so I'll be back to you guys soon. Alright guys, welcome on back. So we're back here looking at our castle front gates now, and I think they're actually starting to come together pretty well here. So you can see that I went ahead and got the texture variation done on both sides of these towers here. I think it's a little chaotic for what I like, but I'm actually think I'm gonna leave it for now. I think it's also partially my eye just kind of adjusting back to seeing this stuff. As you can see though, I put some purple windows in here, trying to get that magic-y effect to it. We got this big old grand entrance doorway in here, which we're gonna need to come in here real soon and got our gateway added into there. But what I wanted to bring you guys in here for right now was I wanted to go ahead and get a top on one of these towers so we can give a little bit of an example of what this thing's going to be looking like. I did decide that we're going to go ahead and for now, this one I'm really just kind of throwing up in the air for it. But for now, I want to go ahead and include the light blue terracotta. I think that'll give us a really cool kind of look to everything. We're going to go ahead and just full on build up this bit of the tower right here, and we'll merge it into the roof later when we get to adding into the roof today, because there's a lot of work that we got to get done here. But anyways, so what we're going to be starting off with this guy is the typical kind of top to the towers that I do, just doing a little bit of an outline to it, making sure that we have a lot of space on here that we can really start working with. And then here we want to go ahead and bring out our dark oak stairs and basically bring these kind of around just a little bit so we can have a little bit of a border to it. Then we're going to bring up some dark oak going up the top as well, so we can go ahead and just quickly add all this in. I'm down. Problem with building on top of fences, you fall off them really fast, even if you have crouch. So let's see if we can land on here real fast. Cool, good to go. One step down, and there, cool. Okay, so we can go ahead and bring these guys out here again, like I was talking about. Basically, we're allowing this to kind of be a little bit of a area that's resting down against the base. We're gonna allow us to see kind of like that half block on the corner right here. It should give a cool look to it. Then coming along these edges, we need to go ahead and actually take that guy out so that I can place the slabs along the sides here. I always forget that I can't do this from the top. And it's nighttime, of course. These ones we're probably going to go ahead and get rid of here pretty soon, just because that's kind of where the wall's coming in. So we're actually going to go ahead and just ignore that little bit right there. I know we said we were going to do those, but that's totally okay because there's no way that that's not going to be covered by the wall itself or by the roof of the building itself. So I was thinking right here, we can go ahead and do 2 slabs up on the side, bring in our dark oak trapdoors, bring these along the base right here, and then do a stair, and then bring ourselves again 1 and 2, and do these 2 trapdoors here again, kind of just pushing this block out just a little bit. And then we go onto here and we do 1, 2, and then that should be good on these guys. And what we're going to do at the top here is bam, bam, and then we'll do iron bar. And if we can get another one up here on the top, another iron bar, and that should look pretty good. Let me sleep real fast. I'll be right back with you. Looking at this pointed part from afar, I know it's a little hard to see the detail bits on it right now, but I like the height that we're getting there. There's just the general little bit of height. I wanted to basically stand up a little bit beyond the rest of the building itself of the roof. So these guys kind of extend just out, just tiny bits in here. Now we can go ahead and do this, bring in that stuff in here again, and then doing that last fence on the top. And then what I want to do in this area, however, was basically bring up some light blue terracotta right here, and we can get a pretty cool looking area going. So that's kind of what I want to do with this. So it's basically 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we bring it in a block. And because we only have full of blocks, we're not able to do the stairs and slabs, or slairs and stairs, slairs and stabs. But I wanted to go ahead and get a little bit of detail on here so that we can make this kind of give a little bit of a color. I'd love to have freaking stair blocks of these. I think that would be so useful. There'd be so many more options that we could do if we had that. So please, Mojang, if you guys want to just make a builder's dream come true, give us stairs and slabs of everything. But yeah, overall, thinking that'll be the color for it. I really like that one. Let me go ahead and copy this over to there as well. And then I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about that one. I do want to go ahead and add a bunch of different shades of blue, kind of just slight variants of this throughout everything here so we can have a lot of variety to it. But yeah, I'll be back with you guys shortly. I've done something, guys, that I'm not quite sure I should have done or not. I'm really happy with how this thing's turning out. But wow, this is so massive. The scale on this is just insane. Really gives a big fantasy feel. And we have a blue roof. Instead of keeping with that light blue color, I decided to mix it up and go ahead and add a blue into it. So you can see it popping up here with that purple stained glass that we have in there. I think it really makes the windows and everything pop and really come together. That tower right there on the left is lit up. The one on the right is not. So that's why it looks really dark and weird in there. Forgot to grab that one while I was up there. But overall, I think this is going to work. I think so. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the colors up here. I'm in the middle. I'm leaning towards yes, but I'm in the middle. So that being said, though, I did fill this in all the way around, and as you guys saw while we were in there, I brought the walls up on the sides. I also brought in little bits of sticky outy bits up here on the top that I'm super happy with. So we did the typical upside down stair, cobblestone wall, dark oak fence, iron bar. However, on the top, instead of duplicating that another way, I decided to bring in some anvils. We have an iron farm that actually has been producing a lot of good stuff at it because I needed to get a bunch of iron from the gold farm. So I AFK'd there for a while and I have a big surplus now. So I used some iron anvils in here. Then we did that sticky outy bit on top. I love that. I think we're going to use this a lot. Rip iron, rip anvils everywhere. I think we're going to use it a lot. At least we can repair our tools if we're running around this place if we need it though. But yeah, so that's consistent going all the way up on every single side. Super happy with that one. These ones in here, I decided to go ahead and just leave without that stuff, making it just kind of adding those detailed bits. I decided that this roof would take precedent over it. Overall, pretty freaking happy with all this stuff. I do want to go ahead and get down into here though and see if we can't get a light in here while we're up here, just so that I can remember to do this thing. And now how do we get out? Do we have an ender? We do. We got a few of them. Let's see. Can we land this? Perfect. Thank you. And like that. Perfect. Filling it all back in. Okay. Next thing though is we need to go ahead and come on right back down here, and not all the way down there. But I want to go ahead and start working on our wall bits. So we have these walls that are super tall and we need some way of breaking them up so they're not completely flat. We're going to add in our texture variation going like all the way up this guy. We're going to have like a little bit of a cobblestone area. Then we're going to have an andesite area. Then we'll have our stone area. And then we'll bring in some diorite way up at the top to kind of smooth that gradient out, make it look super cool. Similar to what we did over here, except I'm thinking we'll bring the diorite down a little bit farther. That being said though, I do want to come in here and add some extra bits of detail to it to one, break up how flat this is. I know we already made this at an angle, but still not broken up enough for me because they're just straight lines going all the way up to the top. So what I wanted to do here was originally I was thinking I could come out to being this thick out here. So basically right to here, and that would come up 3 blocks, and I actually want to go on the 3rd block there. I was thinking we could go ahead and throw in some polished andesite, then some stairs on top, and we do 1, 2, 1, 2, so that brings us up 2. I'm going to go 3 and then do the same, and bam and bam. And I think this will look pretty cool to kind of help break it up there, kind of adding that strong foundation bit that's really sticking out the side of that. That being said, over here I want to go ahead and do it again on this guy. This one's going to be a slight bit of an angle, however. Sorry if there's some noise in the background. Street is pretty loud tonight. So we can go ahead and do bam and bam, and then we can do 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3. Bringing this all the way up to 3, polished andesite, stone brick stair, and I think that'll look pretty freaking cool. So that just kind of helps add a brace to the wall, making it look stronger for the foundation itself. And we're falling off the edge here, but I think overall from like back here, I think that'll add a lot to this. I don't know quite how long this episode is at this point, so I'll tell you guys what. Let me get the texture variation in. Let me get those both sides finished up there. We'll come back and we'll build the gate itself really quick, the big old door in there. And I think we're going to call it quits for the day. Welcome on back, everybody. So it's time that we go ahead and tackle the gates here. So our texture variation is in on both sides of these, and what we're going to be working on building up our doorway. So one thing I do want to let you guys know on here is how I build the doorways is I basically say, cool, the whole thing can fit in here. That's fine. Let's just do that. This thing is an odd number wide though, and we're going to have one door closed and this one here will be open. With the closed door, however, we're going to make that 4 wide so it stretches to fill about a little about half of it, a little over half. Because this is an odd number wide, I think it caters to a better top area and makes it look a little bit better, and I don't really care if this block is a little bit wider than the rest. So with this guy right here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw a stone block. We're going to throw a little bit of a torch right there, or sorry, blocks of iron. We're going to do a block of iron right here, block of iron right here, and what we're going to do along here is some of this good old strip dark oak. We're going to go back to using this good old block right here, and that's going to be up to that guy. And then on top of that, we are again going to be placing a dark iron block. We do a dark iron there and do that. So we're going to basically be bringing this guy in all the way throughout here. What we're going to do here though is bring this up too, and then for a little bit of an ornamental color, we're going to bring in a little bit of gold. So what we're going to do is basically bring in him all the way along here. And then this point, we're going to go up another one right and like that. And then here, just all the way up to the top, we can go ahead and do that and basically bring this guy all the way down here. And this should give us a pretty cool door frame here that'll look hopefully pretty good. I know there's those little air gaps right there, but I think that's okay for these doors. I mean, we could move this whole thing back one and make it one taller, but I think this will be okay. I think it won't really matter, because what I'm going to do in here is basically make this area another arched point and make that a lot more interesting looking. So I think that's okay to leave these guys here. However, on these guys, we do want to go ahead and kind of fill those guys in, and we'll get this little design going here again. So it'd be like you. Actually, you know what? We do need to bring that back. No, because this would be the short end. Okay, sorry. I'm going crazy here. So we can go ahead and do that. What I want to do on the inside, though, is actually I do want to go ahead and get some spruce logs here. So the inside is basically going to be spruce planks, right like this. And then we're going to go ahead and come up here with some spruce logs, strip those guys down, bring our spruce planks back in, and these are supposed to go all the way up to the top here if I can stand. Good, perfect, just like that. I'm thinking this would be a pretty cool way that we can design this guy. And that would be a pretty awesome looking door right there, I think. So to make it, again, a little bit more interesting, we can do a lever like you and a lever right there. And I hate this little redstone poof that comes off the levers when they're activated now. I really hate that. But that's kind of our door right there. That's kind of like our handle that'd be holding the door open. And because it's a magic-y build, I don't really care. Actually, I don't have enough levers. We're not going to put one on the outside. The outside is literally just going to be looking like this. I think that's pretty cool. It does look a little weird since it's filling in the whole half of it, but oh well. I don't really care enough to fix it. I think it'll be totally fine. And we can go ahead and basically just fill these guys in here again and strip that over, and then do stripping that guy there again. And that's actually supposed to be where we're throwing in our gold block. So we can throw in the gold block there again, and then bam, bam. And then we want to do our dark oak and dark oak. And then we can go ahead and do dark oak, bring up our spruce up to there, and dark oak. And then I think, is that another iron block? That is right there. Okay, cool. Just making sure I get all this stuff right. There's a lot of blocks going into place here. We want to do that. And then we have our last one right up there. So that does give us a very, very tiny amount of space up here on the top that we have basically one block of space to work with there. I think that's okay. I think we can make a pretty cool detail bit out in here, make it look super interesting. But guys, that's enough building for me for today. I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and find our commenter question of the day, come back with you guys, take a look at this build one more time with some fancy shaders on. And now that I'm looking at that right there, I'm thinking we could go ahead and bring in some spruce trapdoors and buff that out a little bit on the backside, and it might actually look a little bit better. Let me go ahead and do that as well. I'll mess around with some ideas in there, and I'll be back with you. Even as we're looking over the castle here with our shaders on, it just looks so much more amazing. I am so excited by this one. I did go ahead and detail out that inside bit a little bit more and made it just work just slightly better for what I wanted in here. Also, I did come through and add all the slabs and everything for our staircases on both sides so we can smoothly walk up both of these, which is very nice. The trapdoors are in place for all this stuff. I decided to go ahead and add kind of a border along the back here, just kind of like that. I figured it actually looked pretty good and gave it a little bit more depth, so I added the border along the bottom here as well. Not too sure if I like it blocking off these bits though, because I like that darker iron texture showing, really making this gate look a lot stronger than it would be normally. So I think we're going to go ahead and reveal those bottom ones at least and make it look like they're just a little bit stronger. Yeah, I do like that. I think that fits a little bit better in there as well. So with that though, our massive gatehouse here, I've done that every time I try and get that view. Our massive gatehouse here is looking pretty freaking massive and pretty freaking awesome. Look at that guy. Oh my gosh. Just looking up this thing is so cool. It's so, the scale on this is very, very awesome, I think. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think about this one. Anyways, comment question of the day coming in here today from Shane. He is saying, maybe add a bunch of smaller redstone devices to the wizard castle. It might make it feel more magical with lights that turn on when you enter the room or doors that open themselves. I know you love working with redstone and are quite the expert with it, so I'm sure your redstone genius can accomplish some great things. From Shane Snyder. I think that is an awesome idea. However, my redstone genius here only comes with you guys having some genius of your own. I haven't done the back of this, by the way. I just want to show you the inside little part there. So with that being said, I would love to add some ideas in here. Obviously, we got to build up the place first and get some area in here, but we're going to have a lot of little spaces, kind of like this guy right back in here where we can hide in some wiring or things like that to make some cool things happen. But I love the idea of adding in all different sorts of like magical things, like maybe revealing staircases that like pop out of a wall or something like that. Maybe we add all these crazy things like hidden bookshelf doorways and all that stuff. People had some great ideas kind of along this topic down below. Also, people were saying that we can use the armor stands data pack that I have installed to make some really, really cool magical floating bits all around the place, because you can just make it look like items are floating. So books are floating, scrolls and things are floating, like papers are floating around. I think we could have a lot of fun with that. It might cause a lot of lag in here, so we'll have to be careful with how much of that we do. Wow, that view right there is actually really awesome with the god rays coming through. But yeah, love those ideas. Thank you guys all so much for the awesome ideas in the comments. Been really reading through a lot of these, so I really appreciate them all. Keep them coming. Keep them coming for sure. As we build up this guy, a lot of this is going to be built according to what you guys give me ideas for. So very, very thankful for all the help you guys give me down in the comments. Be sure to keep that stuff coming. Please hit that like button if you are new. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new. And I will catch you on the flip side.